let's return now to Taiwan's election results. And Dr. Lenin Yao Chung Chang is an Australian Taiwanese who returned to Taiwan to cast his ballot. He's also an associate professor in cyber risk and policy at Deakin University. He joins us now from Kaohsiung. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for inviting me, Fausia.
Right, so if I could ask you, who did you cast your ballot for and why?
Well, this is a very, I shouldn't say it's a sensitive question now since we already have the president elected. But I'm very happy to share that all my 3 votes goes to DPP, the current ruling party that includes the president, the legislator, and the preference party that I voted for. And well, I'm very happy not only to see that president-elected Lai has win the election, but also the legislator that I voted also win the election as well.
Great. So you obviously must be very happy with the results at the moment. But although the DPP is facing a huge challenge in the parliamentary arena, though, it's not a big win for them there. What's your take on that? Does that mean it'll be a challenging few years for William Lai?
Well, it would definitely be, but as we all say, this is a very important election for Taiwan. And again, we see Taiwanese people voted for democracy and freedom, no matter what the result is. But even though the result is not what I'm expecting, we still celebrate the peaceful exercise of democratic rights of people in Taiwan. And like was reported just now, while China is claiming that Taiwan is part of their territory, Taiwanese people did have a right to vote for their future leaders and have exercised the democracy very well here in Taiwan. We see it as a very successful democratic example in the world.
Lenin, I want to get to the cross-strait relations and Taiwan's democracy in just a moment, but I want to stay on domestic issues as well. You know, we've had 8 years of the DPP. However, they failed to address domestic issues like housing affordability, low wages, inflation, energy security. Do you think that's why they weren't so popular in the parliamentary votes?
Well, while we say all those issues exist, I can't deny it. We still see Taiwan has the highest stock market points, and we also have the highest wage rate at the moment. So comparatively speaking, we definitely won't be able to compare to our salary in Australia. But if you're comparing the housing in Taiwan, it is relatively high, but still sort of unaffordable compared to the situation in Australia, say Melbourne or Sydney. So of course there'll be an issue that comes up again and again and again and again. But I don't think that's the main reason. That will be a reason why people choose for to think about new parties. But what I would like to mention here is that while I'm also a supporter of changing parties if needed, but if the candidates from the other parties are not as good, I think the changing parties won't be a good way to go for.
Let's now turn to focus our attention now on the cross-strait relations. Of course, China has said that it is displeased with the results from Taiwan's elections. Many analysts are saying, well, this was just going to ramp up the tensions between China and Taiwan as well. I wonder how the young people of Taiwan see this relationship.
Well, Taiwan-China relationship is always the main issue that come up during any of the Taiwanese election. And no matter what the result is, China will always make a similar comment on the result, saying that Taiwan is part of China. But for the younger generation, especially the generation who born after 1980s or 90s, they all have the sort of the idea seeing themselves as Taiwanese. So that we call it a natural born Taiwanese or natural born Taiwanese independent believers. They don't really see themselves as a Chinese people. They don't see them as part of China. They're sort of they intend to see to call themselves as Taiwanese and people from Taiwan. The inference to this will be their decision in their when they cast their votes. So while parties are still playing the relationship between Taiwan and China and saying that if DPP wins, there will be a war. But from this election, we see that people, although through all this kind of foreign attempt of foreign interference or foreign interruptions, we see Taiwanese people, especially young people, still vote for the candidate that they see as the most suitable, rather than the ones that's more pro-China.
Right. We're just running out of time, but I wonder, and I want to get your opinion on this particular issue. You know, I know that Taiwan is a very progressive nation. There's a lot of debate, political debate. There's a lot of open self-expression. There's also, you know, it's a nation that was able to legalize same-sex marriage. How do you think that would marry? Well, how would that fit in with the more traditional and conservative mainland China values?
Great question. Well, I think what we should say is that Taiwanese people are not really 100% following the so-called mainland China tradition Chinese culture now. We are more into a democratic and freedom society. We learn how to do critical thinking, like Australia. So while we're touching on the same-sex marriage issues, we see that's a huge progress under the leadership of President Tsai Ing-wen, and I believe President-elect Lai Ching-te will follow her way to continuing maintain this right direction. What we say right direction is not only LGBTIQ rights, but also indigenous rights as well as migrant rights. So that's very much what we are proud of. What Taiwanese government had done in the past 8 years, and we're also very happy to see the successors will follow her steps and continuing all these good works.
Lennon Chang, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us this morning.
Thank you for having me.